Hello, everyone. Another episode of You Can Do It with me, Nataly Restokian. But today, our guest, she's going to transform your life. Why? All our guests are unique. But Dr. Shirleene Reeves, all the way from United States, she's an awarded exceptional woman of excellence 2019 by Women Economic Forum. Dr. Shirleene is a thought leader and motivational speaker who has literally gone from dumpster diving to diamonds. She shares authentic, inspirational stories and about leadership and sales and building businesses with her clients on strong income, generating foundations. Dr. Shirleene has proven that targeted video marketing with well-founded message and solid foundational programs generates massive income worldwide. Can you imagine somebody who owned her own business and had from 0 to 23,000 people working under her? And this thing, it's like a worldwide thing. We're talking about a doctor who does not have only experience in the United States, but worldwide, universal principles. She has studied in Jose State University and Harvard Institute of Financial Education. I have a lot of things about her. I'm so excited to have her with us. University of Metaphysical Science. And she's also had, not only that she had been, I make mistakes, it's fine. I'm doing the mistake, not her. It's in my fourth language. We can just take it as an excuse. She's not only had her show on TV, which is, I have so many things, WMAX TV. She was a host and executive producer, but also at the same time, I would like to say to you that this year, 2020, Dr. Shirleene Reeves had become the honored member of Top Business Coach and Motivational Speaker 2020, awarded by the International Association of Top Professionals. I am so honored to have her. We can just go on talking about her, but we're not going to talk about her because she is here to talk to you, to my audience, to everybody who would like to take advice and guidance from this awesome and wonderful person. Welcome, Dr. Shirleene.
Wow, thank you for that wonderful introduction. I've never been so graced by such an introduction before.
I think that's a compliment. I mean,
it is a compliment.
Thank you so much, because you know I have been going through everything that you have done and how you just change people's lives, and it's very impressive to see that the first question that I asked to you, because I know that you just help people to make billions of dollars and marketing and everything, and you concentrated on something so important and so close to each and every human out there. You said transformation. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wow, Dr. Shirleene, is that what we're going to talk about? So welcome to You Can Do It, and tell us about this topic that just so interesting for you to talk about to the audience, and you think that it will make a lot of change in them.
You know, Natalie, I think it's very interesting how people they're wanting to accomplish goals, particularly in the business world, which I travel in a lot with the entrepreneurs, but they have so much fear, and sometimes they don't even realize that they have fear and that that's what holds them back. So that's why I got my degree, my PhD is all about counseling people so that they can move beyond that fear. And it holds them back. They just don't realize it. And what happens is that they have an experience as a child, maybe between the ages of 5 and 7. And what happens is it keeps compounding on top. And our minds tend to say, no matter what we do, see, that was right. I knew you couldn't do that. You shouldn't have started in the first place. And we build up these blocks in our system. And it doesn't matter how much we work on our head, because these triggers, I call them triggers, many other doctors do too, we wear them on our shoulders. And when something is going wrong, they go, ah, see, I told you, I told you, I told you, I told you this was going to happen. And many people try and break through it. They do so many modalities with different people, but they say, but it comes back. And unless you get it out of your core, out of your cells, it will never go away. And it's a scenario that keeps repeating itself over and over and over again, maybe with different people or in different circumstances, but the basis of it is always the same.
Dr. Shirleene, we're talking about children who have problems between, as you said, as you mentioned, between 5 and 7, right? Correct?
Who become adults.
Yes. So we see a lot of people who have been through a very bad childhood, though they had been able to succeed in life. So
yeah,
my question is that, is it something unique that they have, or it's related to the personality, or maybe they have another kind of fear that they don't know? And what is, I mean, the challenges that they go through that others don't? Because I know a lot of people have very happy childhood and they just don't do anything. And a lot of people who have been through stuff between 5 and 7, like me, I have seen the Civil War, I've seen like things, underground places, my parents just had to work, a lot of things. But I mean, we just try not to become like superheroes or something. We're not superheroes from Marvels, but we just try to overcome. So what is the secret? Is there a trigger? What is it that we see this difference among people?
Well, everybody's on their own path. And let me speak from the metaphysical side, if I may. We're all on our own journey. We come here to learn things, and we make mistakes over and over again. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah.
1,000%.
It's those mistakes that I'm talking about that keep repeating themselves. And it may not hold them back in business, but it might hold them back in relationships. It could hold them back just because they have fears of flying or anything. You never know what's going to come up. They might be people pleasers because they were afraid that they wouldn't please their parents, and they were maybe taught to be seen and not heard. That was a big thing that our generation went through. There's all different scenarios. So it's not just in business, it's in life itself. It's in maintaining friendships. It's in building relationships. It comes in all different forms. And I don't know if you've had that experience in your life where something comes up and it's always with the same learning experience, only it's different people or maybe a different situation. And you have to really step through it. But then even if you step through it, it doesn't always go right, because then that's another layer that you add to whatever you experienced as a child. Doesn't matter if you even had a good childhood. It has nothing to do with that. It's one situation that happened.
Oh.
Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
I had a client just the other day, and she, as a child at 7 years old, had a monkey, and she just loved this monkey. I mean, a live monkey. And she was banging, she remembers banging on the family room glass door because she wanted to go outside. And her father said, if you don't stop doing that, I'm going to take the monkey away. And she didn't, because she didn't think he was telling the truth. And the next day, the monkey was gone. That affected her for the rest of her life. She no longer trusted anybody because she couldn't believe that somebody she loved so much would take her dearest pet away.
Wow. So we're talking like you're going deeper into the human mind in the past of each and every one of us between the age 5 and 7. And it doesn't matter if we had a happy childhood or a sad childhood, but whatever happens within that short period of time might affect us as adults.
Yes, that's what I found
time
and time
again.
A
lot of things in social life related to me. Yeah, I think like I keep on saying to my husband, bring food, bring food. He's like, we have. I say, no, this is missing because I had the Civil War. So I think that it's gonna miss something. So he's like, we have eggs. I say, yeah, but it's 11, not 12. He's like, Okay, you missed one. I said, no, bring, because, we had that. So I realized this, but I just thought that when we're talking about transformation, we're thinking like holding people back from going and doing things in life and just stopping their life. So you're talking that each one has.
All of us have it. All of us have it. And you're actually, what you addressed is a fear of not having enough food. That's a fear of not having enough, a lack of abundance. And so a lot of people, when they have this fear, they will sabotage themselves when they get to a place where they can really make a lot of money, because they're comfortable with, it's always been the way of not having enough in their mind. And then if they have an abundance, then they'll find some way to take themselves back to that place where they don't have enough.
Wow.
Because it's how the mind, it's all about managing the mind so that you understand that it's not, life is really only based on how we think about it. And everybody can think about the same way differently. When I went to Italy, I went with two sisters, and we were there for 3 weeks. And when we came back, they told an entirely different story about the trip than I did. It was like I didn't even go. And it was because the perception in their mind of how they see the world is entirely different than mine. And that's why everybody has these challenges, because very few, I don't know any two people that think exactly alike, and what a boring life it would be if they did, if we had all these people that think like us.
I agree.
Yeah, but everybody's on their own path. Everybody had their own experience as a child. Everybody's had other experiences since that have seeded in that belief that occurred as a child. And the only way you can resolve it, it doesn't matter how much work you do in your mind, the only way you resolve it is to get it out of their cells.
Dr. Shirleene, does the situation also affects, women more than men more?
No.
Because we're emotionally more sensitive as women?
Nope. It affects everybody.
Women are more sensitive.
Women are just made more sensitive because we have babies and we have to take care of children, and we have an intuitive knowing about how they're doing or how they're not doing. But this thing that goes on with people, it doesn't matter, man or woman. It just doesn't matter. I've treated many men and many women.
Oh, so it's a different reaction according to their personality, and not because of the gender. Nothing to do with the gender, male or female. And when they come to these challenges, is it hard to overcome these challenges? It takes years, it takes months, it's related
month.
What is it?
It's a month with me.
Oh,
it's a month. And in men, you asked a really good question. I'd like to address it about how it shows up in men. It shows up as stress, major stress. They don't sleep at night. They feel like whatever they're doing is never enough. They feel like they're not going to make an impact in the world like they wanted to make an impact in the world. The stress is the biggest thing, stress and anxiety. And it shows in women too, but I'm just telling you that's how it shows up in men.
We feel like, even like they say, big boys don't cry. So I don't know if because they hide their emotions, but they try to be machos, So I think it shouldn't affect them. But I just look around me, I see a lot of people, they are insecure, but they are aggressive. And I see this aggression. Where is this coming from? I'm not a doctor, I'm a life coach and an author, a journalist, but I realize that they are so much more aggressive than women, and they have this anger issues. And
that's the insecurity that you're noticing. That is the cover for their insecurity. Most men have a very strong shell exterior. Most men, not all men, most men. And then they have this very soft underbelly that you can really devastate them if they care about you. The people that they care about are the ones that hurt them the most. And the reason they get mad is to hide that that pain that they feel inside. And then they get triggered by little things too that cause that insecurity and that pain. And that's why they come to me.
Oh, so for of years of all this experience that you have, Dr. Shirleene, is it harder to handle men being, that having this strong shield is the same? It's easy?
It's the same because we all basically have a soul.
Wow.
And it's the soul that I'm touching when I'm with them. And they come out of the treatment with their purpose and how they're supposed to move forward. And they have a sense of peace and they're relaxed and totally confident. It makes a big difference.
And how do people realize, how do they realize that they need this transformation? How do they come to Dr. Shirleene? Can you tell us about them? They are told they're not okay, because for me the reference is very important. When you just admit that you're alcoholic or drug addict or something, how does this point of change happen in their lives so they would come to Dr. Shirleene Reeves?
Well, I'm treating an alcoholic right now. I don't normally work with alcoholics and drug addicts because they have to be clean before they can actually do the work. Because if you think about an alcoholic, they're looking at life through the bottom of a bottle. Nothing's real. You can't relate to them. And drugs is a whole different story. They're in a euphoric state and they don't often remember what you tell them. So the person that I'm treating right now had stopped drinking, and people who drink become extremely emotional. And I almost everybody cries when they sit before me. Not that I make them cry, but the thoughts, the feelings that they're experiencing rise, and I tell them it's all bottled up. And so I tell them to just release it, to let it go. It doesn't matter, because I'm not about judgment. I'm not judgmental in any sense of the word. It's not about how they got to me, what they're dealing with. It's none of that. It's all about taking them through a process that takes about 2 hours, and they have a half-hour break in between. And I take them through this process, and they discover who they're supposed to be, what they want to do in the future, and we rid them of all their negative emotions. That's the best part, is all the negative emotions are gone, and the child is no longer in control. The adult is in control.
It's a very impressive word that you use. The child is not in control, because a lot of people, they say, I want to go back to my childhood. I say, I don't want to go back to my childhood. That part is finished. I'm an adult. But the thing is that I want to ask you is, as a doctor who is helping these people to transform and making this big change in their lives, who realizes first the change? You as a doctor, or the person in front of you who is there to be transformed?
The person that's in front of me.
Wow.
Yeah, because after we do this 2 hours, then I spend an hour with them each week for 4 weeks. Because during that time, they're healing, they're integrating, and things tend to surface, but it's nothing like what we originally did. But they're so much happier. They're relaxed, they're loving, they're easy to get along with. They don't get into arguments anymore because they just see that it's just somebody else's way of thinking about things that has nothing to do with them. None of it's personal.
Amazing. I just want to congratulate you, because you are not helping people. You are just transforming their lives. And I know that you do, but also the audience should know that such an amazing person. It's such an honor to have on
thank you, Nataly.
And also, I would like to ask you about this transformation. When this transformation happens, is it possible to anybody at any age to make this transformation treatment, or as after a certain age, it becomes a part of them? They just become the child?
No, they can do it at any age they want.
Any age. They can be 40, 50, 60, 70, any age they can do it.
Any age.
And your advice to the audience, how can they realize that they need this transformation program? What can you say that to the audience? How can they just look into themselves? Don't tell me, please, to me. I cannot sleep at night.
We need to do a consult then. Yeah, that's one way to know is they can't sleep at night. They react quickly in anger or stress. They feel like they do everything and they try to please everyone, but nobody ever thinks about pleasing them. Or they reach out and they're always the one that reaches out. Nobody ever reaches out to
I'm not like
them.
I know people reach out to me. I know a little bit. I'm selfish. Like this is me time. This is me
Yes,
time.
yes. But a lot of people love to be with family. They maybe have been excommunicated from the family because of their behavior. They don't get along with siblings, or they don't get along with people at work, or maybe they work so hard and they don't seem to get very far. The harder they work, they can't seem to get where they want to go. Because after you have this treatment, everything opens up and suddenly things start to happen smoothly and move forward in your life. It's
So they see
amazing
the
how it
world
works.
from a different angle.
Totally different.
Amazing.
Totally different place.
Amazing.
And
But
I'm usually the last resort. They've usually tried everything else. They come to me and they're on some kind of a drug, like I don't know what they're called because I don't take them. But to calm the anxiety, they're usually on that, and they find out they don't even need that after we get done.
wow,
It's
amazing.
all from within. It's just coming up from within, and they've tried every other modality. I'm kind of the last step.
It's amazing. I just want to ask you, we cannot get enough of this all information and your presence, and I'm sure that we're going to have more episodes with you. And if you guys are watching the episode and you have any comments or any questions, please do not hesitate to write underneath the video. And we would like to ask you our last question. As you know, Dr. Shirleene, the name of my show is You Can Do It. So what do you have to say? What would you like to say to our audience through You Can Do It?
Oh, I totally agree. We can do anything we set our mind to. We just have to consciously be in the place where we're seeing what we are challenged with. And so if you sit down and you just do the pros and cons, what's stressing me? Oh, I don't get stressed about this. What's upsetting me? Oh, that doesn't upset me. Just list the challenges that you're having right now and imagine what it would be like if you didn't have them anymore. What a different life it would be. And you can do it. You can change everything if you choose to.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shirleene.
You're
And
welcome.
we see you guys next week. Bye-bye.